I'm going to introduce our second speaker, Dr. Aftab Haq. He graduated from University of Dhaka with BSc and MSc in microbiology. He has also worked in the QA department of Square Pharmaceuticals for 2 years, followed by another master's in biotechnology from the University of Texas Health Science Center. He obtained his PhD from a collaborative program between Cold Spring Harbor Lab and State University of New York at Stony Brook. After completing his PhD, he completed his postdoctoral fellow at MIT. Dr. Aftab Haq is currently principal scientist at Sanofi, USA. His present focus is antibody discovery and neurodegenerative disease modeling. Dr. Aftab, your time starts now. I will remind you at 10-minute mark. Thank you.
So today I'll give you a very short description of the transition from academia to industry. And it will reflect some of my own personal experience. And as we approach towards graduation from university, or some of us are completing our postdoctoral work, we're constantly thinking what to do next. It's a constant question that bugs our mind. And there are many different options, one of which is joining the workforce of an industry. And today I'll give you a brief overview in very simple terms, in a generalized terms, and give you an overall scenario for the transition from academia to industry. And the way I have prepared my talk, my presentation is, I will talk about how to prepare us, the people in academia, for an R&D transition, and what is the exact process of finding what we actually like. Because our mindset is to do research on the basis of our own interest. And then we need to train our mind to find a process so that we can find a position that we like in industry. And there are a set of things that we need to do for a successful transition. It's not an easy task, as Nagesh told, that there are a lot of things that we need to do in a systematic way so that the transition is successful. And then I'll briefly tell you what is the life like in industry. And as I'm telling you the life in industry, that will give you an instant comparison with academia. And then lastly, I'll talk about what are the key to success in industry as an R&D scientist. So as we are planning for the transition, the planning itself is very haphazard. It's not easy to plan. We need to find out what is our motivation, what makes us to do what we like to do. And then we have to match our motivation with our education, what we have earned through our education, so that we can fulfill our motivation. And it is easier if we go counterclockwise to make a checklist. And that checklist will have our education, our qualification, our expertise, and then we will match everything. And with that, we'll see how we can fulfill our motivation. And this checklist will also give us an idea about our strengths and weakness. And the strengths we will apply to fulfill our motivation, and the weakness we'll try to overcome, and we'll try to enrich ourselves to reduce or limit our weakness so that we can go forward towards our motivation. And that will give us, and that will take us in a position to define our goals. And goals are not something that is concrete. We have to constantly define, redefine, adjust our goals as we move forward towards our ultimate path. And while we're doing all this, we land a position in industry, and then there is a certain career path. And if we work hard, if we follow our motivation, the so-called ladder in career will come near to us, and we can go wherever we want to go, and eventually that will bring us success. And again, success is a very personal term. For different success could be defined in different ways. So in all these phases, we have to be very pragmatic, very practical. There are things that we tell our supervisor or friends that this is what we want to do, and then we secretly plan something. Some of us think that we'll live our life in a peaceful way in the middle of nowhere, hunting bugs and amazing plants, but then we have to come in the middle to find out what is the practical plan, what is the practical career choice that we can pursue. And once we have made the decision that we would like a career in industry, there are certain homeworks we have to do. We have to train our mind to pursue a systematic way so that we can apply for a job that we like and then make the transition successful. We have to first select the area of research interest, and this is fundamental. And then once we are there, we have to make a list of companies that kind of supports our research interest, our research goals. And there are many companies like that. This is a wonderful time for doing biomedical science. And then we have to do our homework to study the companies that we want to apply. We have to find their products, their workplace culture, history, competitors, reputation, if they're well-funded, etc., etc. And then there is a way to find specific jobs that we can go to the company website, we can go to journals, we can talk to people in conference, we can go to career fairs to find a list of jobs and then make a short list from which we can find the job we like. And then we always have to maintain our potential contacts, always maintain networking. And then finally, we have to start applying. And applying is, we have to be very proactive. We have to apply as many jobs as possible on the basis of our interest. So we came out from academia, from university. We have earned our degree or completed our postdoc, and then we're applying. So what are the things, very specific things in brief we need to do? We need to prepare a CV that reflects our background, our expertise. And for each specific job, we have to highlight the training, background, and the skills. And this is very important. And all these have to match the specific job. It cannot be a generalized CV. And then we have to, in the CV, we have to somehow highlight our productivity, our innovation, and our communication skills. These are the three things that are very important in R&D positions in industry, and in fact, in any position in industry. And in the CVs, we have to show that things like we have conceived an idea, we have initiated a project, or we have developed a technique or optimized a particular process, and which will be showing the recruiters that we are always thinking critically and trying to contribute in one way or the other. And then in general, there are interview process during the job application, and the interview is meeting different people within the company. And during the interview process, we have to show confidence. And confidence is very important. We also have to show general enthusiasm in our own science and towards the science of the company that we are applying to. And in general, there is a presentation where we have to present our past research work. And in the presentation, we have to mold the presentation in a way that the research I have done, the goals I have set, and the accomplishments I have had all kind of funnel towards the position we're applying. All right.
Sorry, Dr. Aftabul, I really have to interrupt you. I'm really sorry. You've just hit the 10-minute mark. You have 2 minutes.
Okay, I'll finish in 2 minutes. Okay, I'll skip some slides. So as I said, I'll show you what is a day like in the as a research scientist in the industry. So we get up from bed, you know, we have quick breakfast, we go to work, we check our email, and then there is a lot of meeting. there's a lot of meeting, one-to-one meeting with a big group, and then after doing all this, we have to find time to do our research. And the research we are doing is actually that's our goal set in the company. And we have to analyze the research data. We have to do a lot of presentations. So we have to be very good at presentation, and then we have to eat something. The one thing we always kind of forget to do while we're doing all these things in a busy day life, that is, we don't have enough time to read. But reading is very, very important to be successful in any position in industry. And also there are lots of training and collaborative works, which we also have to kind of combine in the day-to-day work in the industry. And then once we do all that, we don't want to keep doing the same thing again and again and again. We don't want to be in the same position in whatever position we start in an industry R&D job. So there are things that we need to remember and do to be successful as a R&D scientist in industry. And these are basically the gist of all the things that we have to be mindful, that we have to set up we have to learn a particular expertise and be very good at that. We have to show our analytical thought process and our problem solving aptitude. We have to be very efficient in time management, and we have to be multidisciplinary, because we have to do a lot of teamwork, a lot of networking. We have to do a lot of communication, collaboration, presentation, etc., etc. So this gives you an overall idea of an R&D scientist in industry, and that is true for North America or anywhere in the world. And with that, I'll take question. And the take-home message from this talk would be, we should keep exploring to find out the things that we like, whether it's in industry or academia or wherever we go. And we need to keep dreaming, because that keeps us moving. And eventually we need to find what we like. And with that, I'll take questions.
And I hope that you enjoyed the session. And please, if you do, please join our ISBM Facebook group. And with that, I would like to end the session.